Hello, I'm O Speaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. I don't normally do what I'm about to do. I'm going to talk cryptocurrency. So, and there's a reason for that. Um, Bitcoin, as I'm talking, is hitting new all-time highs, and there are people who own other cryptocurrencies. What's going on, Lou? Other cryptocurrencies who are trying to figure out what's going on with alt season, and that the all-time highs with Bitcoin just kind of inspired me to go live real quick. Uh, Again, I don't normally talk this, and before I say anything else, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an expert on cryptocurrency or finances at all. Do not buy something or sell something based on what I'm saying. Do your own thorough research before making any kind of investment decisions. I'm just a guy who says some things about something. And today, that something is going to be crypto. Um, to further point out that point, or to further that point, I put 3 of the top YouTubers on cryptocurrency in my description. Go check them out. But again, uh, don't do anything or take any action based on what we say. Their job, and what I'm doing today, my job, is to get you to do research on something that you don't know about. It's not to convince you to do anything. It's just saying, hey, there's an opportunity here. Take it or leave it. This is some information. I'm going to go over some general things because I started posting about a month ago. I have it up on another window. I started posting real money talk videos or real money talk posts, and I think I'm at number 7 now. But because of what's happening today with the all-time highs, I decided I wanted to talk about those posts and then just discuss it real quick because there's there's still an opportunity to make money, but this is a dangerous time to get into the market. Um, and I want to explain why. And the reason I'm doing this right now is because I frequent a sector that doesn't really care about this topic, or they're just really skeptical or distrusting of this topic, understandably. And I'm going to explain why that's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You don't want to just accept something. You want to be critical of it and understand it. That leads to research. Um, because again, buying or selling based on what a guy on YouTube says or other guys or women on YouTube say is a terrible, terrible idea. With that said, I'm going to go to my wall and explain a couple of things because without you knowing those prerequisites, the discussion is not going to make much sense. So I'm going to try to do my best in explaining this in a way that's coherent. That's my goal today. I'm going to share my screen with this one here. So I'm just going to go over a couple of terms. And this was my first post that I had did. And again, this is a month ago. And all it is it's saying what fiat is. So if you don't know what fiat is, it's cash. Real simple. A very simple description, but you'll hear crypto people talking about fiat versus crypto. What they're saying is whatever currency that's sanctioned by a government would be considered fiat. That's it. It's really, really simple. But when people who are very knowledgeable speak on these things, they kind of go fast and you don't know what they're talking about. And it's really easy to get disengaged and just leave or say, yeah, this is too much for me and leave. So fiat money is just money. It's paper money, coin money, anything that the government says is legal tender is and that they can reproduce is fiat currency. And that's what this post was about. Let's see what else I posted here. Real Money Talk Part 2. Crypto market has absolutely nothing to do with B2 bombers. So what I put on here, this is going to actually be very important to what I'm talking about today. There are, let me actually, you know what? Let me put this up real quick. Do that. You're right to be skeptical. That's a good thing. It's a very, very, very good thing. But again, I'll explain why that's a good thing. So what I put here, maybe I should just make this. You don't need to see my face, do you? I'll let you see my face. What this says here is, let's go back up here. Here we go. When Bitcoin does well, all other coins move behind it. As Bitcoin stagnates, all other coins will stagnate with it. What that is during the regular market cycle, during the it's called the bull cycle. When everything is moving, everything follows Bitcoin. Towards the end of the bull cycle, and I'm going to go over. Let me see. I may go over it in this one. I'm going to go over bull versus bear market. But towards the end of the market cycle, Bitcoin starts to decline. That is a good thing for what's called altcoins. The title of this live is Bitcoin's new all-time high versus altcoin season, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this, because there are some dangers in there and there are some opportunities in there. But I think it's really important that people understand what those are. So right here, I said cryptocurrencies are not predictable in the short term because they're extremely volatile day to day, hour to hour, minute by minute. You have to look historically to properly predict where they may go. A lot of people thought we were already in alt season, but we're still apparently in the bull run because Bitcoin just blew through its last all-time high. Let's see where it is right now. Bitcoin's all-time high right now. Sheesh. 123,356. That happened a few minutes ago. Now, addressing volatility, it dropped back down to 122,854. So again, the market goes up and down. But when Bitcoin is hitting all-time highs, you're not going to see alt season by definition. Anyway, let's see. Do I need this? No, I don't need any of that. Here we go. There's another post that I made. Real Money Talk Part 3. What I said here was I posted that Bitcoin's next short-term target was 120 to 125. So this was before it even got to 122. And it was a month ago. I said XRP is the alt opportunity of a lifetime. All-time highs of $5 discovery is basically inevitable, but don't pull everything unless your exit strategy target is in that range. Meaning that's a different conversation. That's not important to what I'm talking about today. So I'm gonna leave that alone. And then of course, I said this is not financial advice. So what I said was this was based on positions of a few days ago. Here we are in the exact range that I said about BTC pushing 122. So again, we're now over 123. This was a month ago. It stagnated and it started dropping. I think it got down to 116, 118 at some point. So this is different. This is weird, but it's not out of the norm. It's not completely out of the norm. Just people weren't expecting it right now. The entire market, again, follows Bitcoin. This is why Bitcoin is important. You'll hear people talking about Bitcoin that don't even own Bitcoin. That's because other things that they own ride behind Bitcoin, and it depends on Bitcoin. So again, the market follows. As Bitcoin goes, so goes the market. This was talking about we are at new Bitcoin all-time highs daily, and XRP should follow into the $5 range that I gave. Not because I say so, but because that would be history showing what people do in these markets. Meaning people don't really change. They do the same thing. And there's a guy who I follow. He's an XRP guy, but his name's Moon Lambo. And he always says history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Very often rhymes. So it may not do the exact same thing, but it's going to line up at some point. Then I posted number 4 was, as I stated in a recent point, as Bitcoin goes, the crypto market follows. ETH was at this point outperforming Bitcoin, which likely means we've seen the highest Bitcoin will go this season. That's the range that I had gave. I was wrong. It's still going up. But the point of this was to say that ETH or Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin means altcoin season is likely finally here. Altcoin season is essentially, or what an altcoin is anything other than Bitcoin. So if you own Ethereum, XRP, HBAR, AVAX, any of those other coins, those are considered altcoins. What other ones? XLM, anyway, Crow. Anyway, and I put, because Bitcoin has likely hit its last all-time high of the season, a lot of other coins will be following suit. XRP is still an opportunity of a lifetime, in my opinion. I stand on that 100%. But again, what's going on, Miss Highly Favored? This is me doing another disclaimer. Yeah, that's just another disclaimer. And up here, number 5, I put XRP and ETH are no longer following BTC because they were riding sideways, and Ethereum was actually increasing. This is a great sign for altcoins. And I said, BTC going too far in either direction right now would signal that there's a potential delay in between the bull or bear markets, meaning alt season isn't fully here yet, and other coins won't fully boom yet. But we were at $3.60 for XRP, which is amazing. A lot of XRP people bought years ago, or at least a year ago, but I bought years ago. So we're just sitting on it and waiting. We're sitting at an all-time high almost daily now. It's just sitting there, and we're waiting. I was hoping that we get to $4. That would be my first part, the first part of my exit strategy. Here we go. Crypto alert. Alt season is not over. Quite the opposite. It really hadn't started. I'll say this again. You'll see the market follow Bitcoin. Just because Bitcoin's going up does not mean everything's not going to stay going up after Bitcoin declines. It depends on when it happens in the season. So because we're at the end of the season, we're kind of waiting for Bitcoin to go down. Let's see. I'll explain why right now. What it means for Bitcoin to be going up is there are people still investing in it. Let's see, how can I say this? Altcoins absolutely grow while Bitcoin is going up. You'll see people typing the little rocket emojis and doing stuff like that. What that means is they're waiting on their coins to go to the moon. And they've been most likely holding for a long time. They're just waiting to make money. When you see them doing that, typically Bitcoin is losing its dominance, meaning it's losing its leadership over all the other coins in the market. The value dip in Bitcoin this time of the alt season means investors are starting to look elsewhere. That's the beginning of alt season. They're starting to say, okay, highly favored. Bitcoin's going down. I don't want to buy that. And Lou's saying, yeah, I don't want to buy that either. What is going to be the next Bitcoin that we can make money off of? And then they start looking at all these other coins, and they start they start researching what they're going to invest in. And that's when all the other coins start really, really doing well. And it's a very short period of time. So you really need to pay attention at that time. So what they have is FOMO. They just have a fear of missing out on what the next Bitcoin is, because they see, man, Bitcoin's at $123,000 each one. If I can find the next Bitcoin and buy each one for $1, I'm a billionaire. So everybody starts focusing no longer on Bitcoin and going over to all these other coins, and all the other coins, Ethereum, XRP, HBAR, BNB, Sol, ADA, Cardano, XLM, all these other coins is where they start saying, you know what, I'm going to look at this, I'm going to look at this, I'm going to look at this, and I'll put a little bit in all of these, and maybe I can make money. That doesn't last long because new people come in and they just start putting all their money into things. And that's a very, 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 very bad idea, a very dangerous thing to do. But all they do is they hear about, we'll just say for now, we'll talk about Shiba Inu. I heard about this Doge. I heard about this Shiba Inu. I heard about this Pepe. What are these things? These are called meme coins, and I really don't like them. But I'm more experienced. I can make a lot of money off of them. The reason most people are skeptical of cryptocurrency is, one, they can't put their hands on it, and two, they hear it's a scam. And in the sector that I frequent, outside of this channel, a lot of people believe Bitcoin is a scam. They believe cryptocurrency is a scam. Why? Because they don't understand it. And that's a good thing to be skeptical. But it's a bad thing to not research what you're skeptical on, because you could be missing out. Meme coins are almost solely responsible for people being skeptical, because they'll hear a story of somebody lost a lot of money. 9 times out of 10, either they gave away information and got their crypto stolen, or more likely they bought meme coins and lost their money. So somebody said, "Oh man, you should invest in Doge or Shiba Inu." There's some new ones now: Bitcoin Hyper, Maxi Doge, token 6900, and they'll say, "Oh, you know what, man? I'll put $100 on it. Then they'll see it start going up. You say, "Ooh, maybe I'll put $1,000 on it." And this happens so often that it also creates a lot of people who complain about it because before you look, um, it's now dropped below a penny, and you just lost 100, 500, 600, $1,000. You just lost it instantly because you didn't understand what you were putting your money into. That's why it's extremely important to not just take what people are saying when they're talking about cryptocurrency. Look into what you're putting your money into. Lou said, "I'm skeptical because I don't know how to spend it if I need to spend it just in case." And that, if you need to spend it just in case, that means you probably shouldn't be investing in it because there is no, well, I won't say there is no quick fix, or there is quick money in crypto, but if you're in that place right now, you're not going to make what you think you're going to make. It's not going to just happen immediately. I've had XRP for years. Um, and I've just been sitting on it. And this is finally the time where we just hit a new all-time high a month or two ago. And I expect it to go up a lot before this season is over. At least when I was buying, it was between 45 cents. I think the most I paid was like $2. But mostly everything I bought was between 45 cents and 75 cents. So being at $3.60 with what I put into it, I've way more than made my money back. But if you are in a position where you may need to spend it, it's not smart to invest that money in anything, nothing. But you can go to an exchange and cash out at any time. I just wouldn't do it if I was in that situation where, hey, I might need the money. I wouldn't invest that. This is when you're putting money into crypto, it should be throwaway money, like money you don't really need. Because if you need it, you shouldn't be investing. That's just my opinion. But meme coins, what they do is they have no use, no real world usability, no utility at all. They pump popularity into these coins, so people hear about it, hear about it, hear about it. Man, I heard Doge is something good. I heard Shiba is something good. Pepe, Maxi Doge, Hyper, all these. I heard this is really good. I'm gonna put a couple $100 in it. Maybe I could be a millionaire. It's a mistake because again, they'll put their money into it and then it completely tanks. The people who bought in at 0.000001, they're going to make a ton of money while you guys are purchasing these coins. And as soon as they make that ton of money, they sell, and now it tanks. And you're sitting here with this thing that you thought was going to make you money, and it actually cost you money. That's why people think it's a scam. And in a way, meme coins are a scam. They're a way for experienced investors to make good money, but it's at the expense of ignorant people and people who are really, really impatient and don't understand what they're doing, which is why anytime somebody's talking about crypto, listen to what they're saying, but you have to research it on your own because you could be setting yourself up to lose money to lose point. You might need the money. And again, if you need the money, you shouldn't be investing because you should be having the same attitude that you would be investing in anything else. It's not a gamble. It's not Vegas. People will make it sound like that, but that's really to pump whatever they're holding. And it happens all the time. There are Reddit threads. There were things on 8chan and 4chan. They would pump certain coins just to get it up to not even a dollar amount. It's fractions of a penny, and get people to get excited about it, buy it, and then it tanks. It's called a pump and dump. That's what they do. That's how those things make money for people. And you'll see people, this guy's a Doge billionaire. It's like, oh, I can make money. Doge is still, I think it's up to 20 cents now. I don't know how it's still sitting that high. It's actually it was one of the first meme coins, so it's been sitting. Let's see, where's Doge? Sorry, let me look. Doge is actually the number 9 crypto coin, and it's at 24 cents. But there was a point where there was a fraction of a penny. And that's how people made money. It really shouldn't be valued at that. It does nothing. It really does nothing. Um, uh, People who don't know when to buy, when to sell, or when to hold get fully taken advantage of during this time of the year. Again, which is why I decided to go live. Investing your money during alt season uh, can be dangerous, especially if you're using money that you need. It just is. And honestly, it's just not a good time to buy. People who buy right now are almost always end up losing in this market. Um, and you really can't lose or win if you don't sell. So if you're just sitting on it, you really haven't lost or won anything. It's as soon as you sell. And again, going back to patience, that's usually when people um, lose their money. They say, "Crap, I can't keep losing money." We'll just say it was at $10 and now it's at $5. I got to sell. You just lost $5 off of every share that you bought of whatever that coin was. So let me go back up. I think I had another money post. GIO. Here's one. 4 days ago, I said, "What is cryptocurrency?" So I was going over the very basics again. Digital or virtual money secured by cryptography, which makes it impossible to counterfeit, unlike money, fiat currency. I said, remember, fiat currency is government-backed, produced money, cash. What is cryptography? The hiding or coding of information, in this case, protecting the privacy of transactions. Simple, little confusing, but I'm trying to make it simple enough. How you doing, Ms. Just J? Why would anyone want? Why would anyone want cryptocurrency? Because the network is based on networks that's distributed across a large number of computers. It is by nature more decentralized, meaning it largely exists outside of the government. What people's biggest fear is the government printing too much money and losing all their money because of inflation. And we've seen it. It happened in Venezuela. We've seen here during COVID. Uh, the dollar dropped dramatically, and we didn't see the dollar dropping. We saw all the prices going up. Well, the prices were going up because the dollar's value was dropping. And I don't think I had any more crypto posts. No, I didn't have any more crypto posts. So that was that. Let me get that off of here. So again, why I'm talking about this today. Bitcoin skyrocketed, which is delaying alt season. Because again, alt season comes when Bitcoin starts declining and people look elsewhere and try to find value elsewhere. And they start investing in all of the other coins that I talked about, whether it's Ethereum, XRP, HBAR, XLM, all the other crypto coins. That's what they're doing. And because Bitcoin is still hitting highs, we just have to wait a little bit longer. It is literally delaying altcoin season. And as soon as we see Bitcoin's dominance dropping, Ethereum and all the other coins will pick up. Ethereum and XRP are the next two in line as far as value goes in cryptocurrencies. Those two will start going up. They won't be riding sideways. Right now, XRP has been sitting between like $3 and $3.30 for the last week or so. That's good for XRP. It's not going up. It's not going down. It's just sitting, which is really good. It's a good sign of what the government's been doing. I'm really encouraged by what the government's been doing because they haven't been taking over or anything like that. They haven't been overreaching like they used to do. They used to sue cryptocurrencies, which is insane. Now they're kind of working with cryptocurrency while allowing cryptocurrency to kind of maintain its independence. They're understanding a little bit more under the Trump administration. The issue and why other people are skeptical outside of just Lou is volatility. Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile. And what does that mean? It just means it's not stable. It's unpredictable. You can have something that's 3 cents jump up to 30 cents. And people might say, well, that's nothing. But that's 10x. So if you invested $100 when it was at 3 cents and it jumps up to 30 cents, you just 10x your money. Now you're sitting at 1,000. So now you have people dropping 1,000. Now you got $10,000 just from that little jump. But you can also lose money that fast. It can go from 30 cents to 3 cents. So you just lost by 10x. Make sense? So there's a lot of money that can be made in cryptocurrency, especially the altcoins, because you can 10x your money. Whoops, with the mic like that. Immediate. Huge profit. Now imagine when people were buying some of these coins at 0.0001%, like Bitcoin. And now you look here 10 years later, 10, 11, 12 years later, and it's at $123,000. And you bought at a fraction of a penny. Which means you may have put $100 in. And you multiplied your money by 1,000. And you're just sitting there like you're just a newly made billionaire. This is the attraction, but it's also the danger of investing in something. It's not the S&P. It's not the regular stock market. This would be the equivalent of, it's actually not the same, but similar to penny stocks, when people used to buy and sell penny stocks. Same thing, same idea. It was seen as a scam because people were selling them like that. That I don't like. I don't like that at all. That's like meme coins. But when you're dealing with crypto and you see something at 3 cents, I'll buy a couple hundred of those. That hits 30 cents. You just 10x your money. That hits $3. You're a very, very, very wealthy person. So people like me who bought XRP between 45 cents and 75 cents, majority of it, we're doing really well right now that it's at $3.60. It depends on how much you bought, but either way, by any standard, you've multiplied your money. That is the draw. That is also the danger, because people get in not understanding what it is. So with XRP, I went and did all kind of research. I know the company Ripple. I know the purpose. I know what it does. A lot of people don't do that. They just put money where they try to follow the trends. But when you're in a highly volatile, unpredictable environment, you're risking it. You could put in $1,000 and lose it all within a day because you bought at the end of the cycle. And now you got to sit on it for years, or you could take the loss and sell. The better thing to do would be to sit on it. You know what I mean? That would be the best thing to do. Hypothetical. So if I got $100,000, how would you transfer to your bank account if you want out? My apologies. No. There's nothing wrong with that. If you made $100,000, hopefully you had your own wallet that's not connected online. But you would literally transfer just like you would with your bank account. You can transfer. You can sell it, and there's a way to sell on every exchange. Somebody will buy it, and you immediately get the money. Immediately, and then you can cash it to USDT, and you can tether. It's called tether. So there are what's called. Let me look up a couple of the names. There are what's called USDC. No, not USDC. Where are we? Yeah, so USDT is called Tether. And what that does is it's called a stable coin. Because the market is so volatile, they have a few coins that are stable coins. What that means is it doesn't fluctuate. It stays at $1. So you can sell, we'll say XRP or whatever your coin is. You could sell it and exchange it for a Tether coin, or not a Tether coin. You could stable coin like Tether, and you don't lose value anymore. So you're no longer sitting in the volatile market. You just got out. Let's see. I'm looking for another one. I don't know why I can't think of any. The USDC is another one. I guess those are the only two that I see right now. But those coins will always sit around $1. They don't fluctuate. So if you want to get out of the volatility, to where it doesn't go from $100,000 to 90,000 in minutes, you would immediately sell and or swap it for USDC or USDT and sit on it there, and then that gives you time to move your money to whatever bank you have. When you get into an exchange, you should it should ask you for your banking information so you have somewhere to send it. Um, it's no different than if you wanted to Zelle me $100,000. Now you can do that anytime. You can cash at me, scrolling along the bottom. You would definitely be a stream sponsor. But if you were to move that money to me, it's the same way you would move it on an exchange because your bank account is tied to it. And you just say, I want to sell this many of my XRP. I want to sell all of my XRP. I wouldn't recommend that, but I want to sell this many of my XRP, and it'll give you the worth of that many, however many it was. And it will just sit there. And then you can transfer it to your bank. You're gonna get taxed on it, obviously. And that exchange will send you your forms for the end of the year. But it's really, really simple. People think it's difficult because they don't know what it is. And they're right to be skeptical of it. I wouldn't trust it. But it is not Vegas. The crypto market is not Vegas. There are experienced people who can treat it like Vegas. I can go right now and I know I can make money off of Shiba Inu, Doge, Pepe, all the meme coins. And I can put it at a sell point of, sell if it gets to a penny. Sell if it gets to 10 cents. Sell if it gets to 50 cents. And it'll automatically sell once it reaches that amount. I never have to look at it again. And money just pops up in your account. If it gets there. This is the time of season where it can get there. You just have to know what it is. And again, the only way to learn the stuff is to research it. But this is a dangerous time to get in. If you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, I would not recommend getting in. Who am I? I'm not an investor. Well, I am an investor, but I'm not an expert. I would not sell or buy anything based on what I say. I need to know what it is. And I had a guy tell me about XRP who I trusted, and he answered some questions for me, but what he did was point me in the directions to learn about it. And that's what I did. And once I learned about it, I got more comfortable with it. And I've taken losses, especially when it hit its all-time high 4 years ago. I sold more than I probably should have. But I wanted to make the money. I made my money back, so it's not a bad thing. But I've made mistakes. There's one called AVAX. I made a mistake. I sold all of it. Oh my gosh, was that a mistake? What is it at now? I sold AVAX. I don't remember the exact amount, so I'm just going to give fake numbers. We'll say I sold AVAX at $30, right? Its all-time high was $146. But I made money, so I can't complain about it. I just look at the amount like, oh my God. Because it just kept going up and up and up and up. And I decided this is my exit strategy. I'm going to get out here. And I got out there. I can't complain because, again, I made money. But had I sat, that gambling mindset is not good. If you have any kind of gambling mindset, it's not good to get into crypto. It's just not. Because you're always trying to wait too long. And then when it crashes down, it's like, you're sitting on something for years. But I had a lot of AVAX. If I would have waited, like, it wasn't even that long. I don't remember the exact. I don't want to lie. But if I would have waited longer, it got up to $146, and I sold at $30. And before I bought in at like, I don't know what I bought in at. It's very low, very low. It happens. So I've taken losses. I've taken wins. But research is the most important thing. What is the coin? What is its purpose? Does it have a purpose? If not, you're playing with fire. If it has a purpose, if it has usability, if it has utility, it's a more sound investment. Doesn't mean you're going to make money, but it's a more sound investment. Much, much, much more sound investment. And that's the way to go. For me, for me. YG Law said, "What is a realistic target for 1 month, 2 month? Target for what? For BTC? I thought we were done with BTC, but this year, I thought we were done this cycle with BTC. So you don't want to ask me. Before it got to 122, I said 122 to 125, and we just today, an hour or so ago, hit 123. I did not expect it to keep going up. I thought we were heading into the bear market. I mean, I've been waiting for alt season, which is the purpose of this live, because leading into the bear market is the alt season. And that's where I wanna. That's where I wanna. Um, that's where I make money, is in the alt season. So when Bitcoin starts losing its dominance, is where I started making. Was where I've always made money. I don't make money off BTC. I don't have any Bitcoin. It's going to be hard to make money from Bitcoin now because of how high it is. But I don't know how you're investing in Bitcoin. I don't know. I can't answer that. I can't answer that question. I do not know, sir. I apologize. But because it's so high, that's one of those ones where it's harder to make money unless you're investing in um, mining and stuff like that. Um, you can make money on that, but you're not gonna like 4x, 5x, 10x like you will in the alt market. That's where I sit. So my apologies. 125%, 127%. Do you want to sell right now? We don't know how high that's gonna go. You may want to sit on that for a couple of years. How long have you had it? Maybe you exit slowly and just take back what you put in. I don't know. I'd have to know your situation. That's a really good return for Bitcoin because of how high it is. It just takes longer. It's harder to make that kind of money. You're not going to double your money on Bitcoin unless you buy half a Bitcoin. Like you're just not. You're not gonna. That's 127% is really good returns. Have you ever cashed anything out of Bitcoin? Personally, I don't think I would ever sell Bitcoin if I had Bitcoin, but I don't know. That's I don't know. I don't want to give advice. I tell you what I wouldn't do and I wouldn't sell because you're sitting on gold. I don't know. I what I've learned to do, you haven't cashed out to now. What I've learned to do is if I cash out, it's only for the amount that I originally put in so that you don't lose anything if it crashes. And it's not gonna crash. But hey man, I put the three of the top crypto people in my description. You may want to go on their live and ask them. I'm not going to give advice like that. 127% is amazing for Bitcoin. That's amazing. Only 3 years. Yeah, 3 years ago it was in the 40s, right? It may have gotten down in the 20s. So yeah, that makes sense. That's good money, dude. Very good money. Lou, you said, where would I go to get that information? The official website of the coin. So what I use, let me go to the website that I use. And this is the only reason I use this website is because you can link to everything on each coin. Let me go here. All right, let me share this. This is the one I use. I log in. You can highlight your favorites. Actually, hold on. Let me put this up real quick. 1 second. I'm gonna log into here if it lets me. I don't think I saved my. Oh yeah, I did. Here we go. All right. Let me share it back. All right. So this is the site I use, and the only reason I use it is because you have access to a lot more information. For me, this is the one I use. I usually have this right here, and I can see these first three. This is how I look at it on my phone. If I wanted to know Lou, if I wanted to, where's my favorites? Oh man, oh here it is. I highlight all my favorites. These are my favorites. If I wanted to know about Ethereum on this website, which is livecoinwatch.com. Actually, let me back up. Sorry. This is the website I use. And there's a lot of these. You don't have to use this. You can use anything. This is just the one I use. If I wanted to learn about Ethereum, you click on Ethereum, and there's tabs, and this is everything on Ethereum. This is the price chart. Um, it gives you everything, all the information you need, where you can get it. It tells you about it. It gives you all the social media. It gives a brief summary of what it is, and you can go in. It doesn't have this. It's sold. It doesn't even have the Reddit threads on there anymore. That's hilarious. Let me go to a different one. Let me go to a different one. We'll go to XRP just because I know about that. So now here you can see everything there is to know about XRP. Past year, you can do like literally. This one gives an entire description on what this one is. This is where you get information, and then obviously the websites all have their own information on it. This doesn't look the same as it does on the phone. So you get the official. There's tabs on the phone across here, and it'll tell you. Oh yeah, here they are. Portfolio. Let me get out of here. You can go to trends. You can go to what exchanges it's on. Why isn't it not? There should be another area for websites and the white sheets. It looks different on the phone. Either way, you can get all the information in here. And then the best way, obviously, is to go to the website and see what they're talking about. See their model. What are they doing? What is the point of that coin, if there is a point? And it'll tell you if it's a meme. But the tabs up here are a little bit different on your phone. On the phone, it'll give you the website. It'll lead you to their white sheets, which is just explaining what their coin is, what the purpose of it is. That's what all those are. Oh yeah, man. No problem. No problem. I don't want to say when to sell. Like that's crazy. I would never do that. I would never do that. But yeah, so Lou, the government, or not the government, the official website, read about them just like you would if somebody was trying to get you to invest in their business. Okay, what is your business plan, right? They have to give you that. You look over it. They'll tell you what they'll explain to you what they say their coin represents, what it is. And that's where you have to decide, I don't know about this one. There was one that I really, 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 really loved. And it was called, what was it called? I finally sold it. But it was tokenizing artwork. Not like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to down anything, but it was a life drawing tokenization. And I really, really liked that because I do life drawing. And I was like, ooh, if I do that, I have so much artwork that I could sell or tokenize or sell in portions. And I invested in it, and it just sat for a long time. And they stopped updating their white sheets, which means they pretty much gave up in it. I just moved on from it. I can't remember what it was. I think it was ELS. But either way, I felt really bad. But that's one that I really believed in. I really, really, really hoped went. But you win some, you lose some. I didn't really lose that much money because it was at a fraction of a penny when I got it, and I sold it for around the same, if not a little bit more. But I really wanted that project to go. But there are projects on here there are coins that have a point. Shiba Inu. There are coins that have a point and some that just don't, and it's good to know. It's very, very, very good to know. Let me go back over here. The reason, Lou, why you're skeptical is the same reason why big investors have been skeptical for a long time. It's because the volatility, you don't know what to do with it. You don't get anything for it's just there. And in exchange, it says you have it, but you spent cash. You know what cash looks like. And that was very, very scary to a lot of people until it started just being more and more and more accepted. And then they started making ETFs and started figuring out ways to tokenize things. Real estate. There are actually coins you can put now, and you can buy real estate. You can in certain gas stations, you'll see Bitcoin vending machines. Um, in Japan, they're starting to take XRP, and they've taken Bitcoin and ETH for a long time to make purchases. So it's finally gaining steam. It's been a very, very long time, over a decade. But you're starting to see people taking it more seriously, and those real investors are starting to say, "Okay, there's something here, and I want to be a part of it," and they're buying it. And once you saw BlackRock and J.P. Morgan Chase going into it, that's a really good sign to get into it. Um, but this is not the time of the year. If I were you guys, it's not financial advice, but if I were you guys, this is a dangerous time to enter because we're heading into altcoin season. And that's a very, 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 very important time for experienced investors, but it's a dangerous time for for people to just come in. It just is. And a lot of people aren't going to like that I say that because we rely on people who don't know what they're doing and impatient people, but it's not a good time for new investors to just jump in. It just isn't. That's all I really had. Uh, yeah, that's all I really had. I just wanted to talk about alt season because I put some things on my channel, um, on my community wall rather, and I wanted to clarify uh, we're just beginning, and for people who actually invest in the crypto market, this is a good thing. Seeing Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. Is it going up again? It's going up again. Seeing that is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. We just got to wait a little bit. That's all. For our time, and our time is whenever Bitcoin stops sailing at the top, and people, as long as they're investing in that, we're just gonna watch it grow. There is a store in my neighborhood that allows you to spend Bitcoin. I'm not sure how to spend it. You're supposed to keep it in its digital form. Uh, so when I say I would keep it, that's because I would. It still can be used as currency. It still can be used as currency. You can still buy things. Absolutely, you can. So there's a store in my neighborhood that allows you to spend Bitcoin, but I'm not quite sure how to spend it if you're supposed to keep it in the digital form to let it go up or down. No, they'll take it as a trade because they understand what it is. But you can make purchases just like you can make purchases with money. The difference is our money has the amount that it's worth on it. So $50 is $50, $20 is $20, dollar is a dollar, 5 is 5, 10 is 10. Bitcoin can go up, it can go down. But ultimately, the confidence in it going up means they'll take that risk and say, "Hey, if you want to buy whatever you want with Bitcoin, we'll take it." Because they have a belief based on history rhyming that it's going to go up. So they're going to make money off of your purchase. You want to buy a candy bar with Bitcoin? Go ahead. No. Uh, this is the reason why I'm doing this live right here, because I put out information about XRP and I wanted to make sure people understand. I'm not full of it. I know what I'm talking about, but most people feel this way. Let me see something real quick. What is the 1 second? I just Googled something. All right, so yeah, look at this. You are not alone, and I'm gonna prove it right now. Share this tab instead. Look at this. Overall, U.S. adults, approximately 17% of U.S. adults have ever invested, traded, or used cryptocurrency. That's nothing, dude. Nothing. Current ownership, 17% own. So here's even bigger. Global ownership, 6.8% of the globe. of everyone. I don't know if you can see it. It says my browser lost connection to your screen share audio. I don't think there's audio on here anyway. So only 7% of all human beings hold crypto. You're not alone, dude. You are you are in the majority of people who know nothing about crypto. That's crazy. So there's nothing wrong with not understanding it. But the people who do know about it, younger generations, I don't know if you can see it. Younger generations, particularly millennials and Gen Z, show higher rates of crypto ownership compared to older demographics. It's a concept, and some people can accept it. Some people are like, I don't need a wheel. I got a horse and buggy. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. That's why I think everyone should look into it at least. But because it has that stigma, what's going on, Jay? Because it has that stigma, people are just like, it's a scam. And that is justified based on how people treat newcomers into this market. Most people, I won't say. Yeah. Everyone is afraid of the unknown, man. But this is more valuable than anything. Bitcoin in particular is more valuable than any one asset you can hold to. And it's not close. And it's not a lie. It's not a scam. It just is. If you had a dollar or a bill that's at $123,380.15, I guarantee you'd spend that or you'd keep that. That's just it's real. The value is there. There aren't many people who own a full Bitcoin. And if they do, they should hold it. I think they should. But yeah, so there's nothing wrong with the unknown. Reading up on it is the important part. And a lot of people just, as soon as they determine something's not worth it, they're not going to read on it. They're not going to look into it. Why should they? They're either comfortable with what they do know, and they'll keep, buying stocks that are worth $100 or less or a little bit more. Or they can invest into something like this. But you have to do the research, because if you don't, you could be losing out on generational wealth. And I think it's at least worth looking at, which is why I just did a live. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't think it was worth looking at. But when I put on my community wall that this is an opportunity for generational wealth a month ago, people could have made money, or they still could. I just don't think right now would make sense to jump in. Hello, Miss Kiss My Cheeks. What's going on? This is just not the time, in my opinion, to jump in if you don't know what you're doing, because this is the time where people lose money. We're heading into that time. But yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone. It's less than 7% of everyone. That's crazy. That's just where we are. But other than that, I believe I don't really have anything else to discuss. I just wanted to cover that because there's still a huge opportunity coming up. And if you already own some of these coins, this is the time to start paying attention to them. Watching Bitcoin drop for me is going to be a great day, because that's the day I'm going to really start watching my XRP, and I'm going to really start watching the stuff that I own, because that's their turn. Start my crypto research about 5 years ago. Awesome. So we're about to make some money, Jay, country boy. The alt season is almost here, and even though it looks like Ethereum may set a new all-time high, this is nothing, because we're waiting for Bitcoin to lose dominance, and that's when Ethereum and XRP and everything else takes over. As soon as that happens, me and country boy Dub are going to make some money. I would stay away. Anybody who doesn't know anything about crypto, stay away from meme coins. I already listed the names of them. Let me look up for them again. These are just some of them. Doge, everyone knows Doge. Everyone knows Shiba Inu, Pepe, Bitcoin Hyper, Maxi Doge, Token 6900. Those are Good for experienced people, really, really bad for new investors. Stay away. That's the only advice I will give. Is stay away from meme coins if you are not knowledgeable on cryptocurrency. Stay away. Oh, you said your granddaughter is? That's cool. That's cool. Hey, that's awesome, man. That is the only advice I will give. If you do not understand cryptocurrency, do not invest in meme coin. That's that's the only advice I will give. Other than that, don't listen. Don't buy or sell anything based on what I'm saying. I'm not an expert. I'm not a financial advisor. You have to do your own research. You just have to. There are 3 really, really, really knowledgeable YouTubers in my description if you really want to learn more about this stuff. My point was to talk about the all-time high in alt season. And I went back and described a couple of little things and read some of my posts just so that contextually you understood what I was talking about today. Other than that, I have nothing more. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. J Dub, thank you, thank you. KMC, thank you. Lou, of course, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. YG Law, thanks for stopping by. Ms. Just J, thanks for stopping by. That is all I have for you guys today. I thank you very much. Let me put my links. Where's my links? I want to put. You catch the playback? Okay, cool, cool, very cool. Follow me on X. Follow me on X. I'm pretty active on there. Mostly on politics. That's what this channel is. This channel is politics. So mostly what you're gonna see on there is maybe some sports, maybe some very little sports, but maybe some comic stuff for sure. Follow my YouTube channel if you're on Rumble watching this. Follow my Rumble channel if you're over on YouTube. And then if you would like to bless this channel, this is my Cash App. Bam. And that's it for today, man. I appreciate you all again. Thank you so much. I'm O Speaks. Like, subscribe, share.